Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with the third video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Resident Evil 5 for the PS3 and PS4. Like I've said in the last two videos, this guide will work and help you get the Platinum Trophy for both games, which is a lot of grinding, but we're just going to jump right into it, and I will start off by saying I'm probably now going to be reducing some of the gameplay aspects of the game to try and cut down on time and reduce video length. That way there's less for you to have to watch, but more just hitting the important sections like getting emblems and things like that. That way you don't have to watch as much of my crappy gameplay. And yeah, so from the start here of chapter 3-1, if you actually turn right here, you'll be able to find the first BSA emblem. It's about right here. It's a little tricky to hit, but there you go. And then from the map, as you'll see here, we're in the bottom right. Now, I'm also going to show you where you can also get, I'm going to grab this grenade. You will need a grenade or a RPG, which you can get an RPG in this area, which I will also show you. But the first thing that you're trying to do in this area is to grab 4 specific pieces to unlock that door, which you will have to go to the areas that seem interesting and have buildings. But the first important thing that we're also going to do is, while we're here, you also notice here is the first piece that you'll need to grab. But on most of the skulls in this area will have some of the treasures. Now also, while you're in this area, if you really want to, depending on it, you can, in the next area that we go to, of course, you can grab the chicken eggs, and I will go into detail about that, which will be where we're going to move to just next. So now you'll have to get on the boat and drive it around. So I'm going to skip to the next part of the map. Alright, so as you can see, we're now here in the middle area, and there is going to be a bunch of chickens on this island that you can wait around for, and they will eventually lay some eggs. And you will also find the second bsaa emblem on this area. You can find another brown beetle, another treasure that you can find. Now, for the BSA emblem, it is underneath the house, so what you're going to need to do is throw your grenade in a very specific way that goes underneath the house, or use an RPG, whatever you would like to do. So, from here, what you're actually going to want to do is make sure that you wait around and grab all of the egg types. There is at least a couple right here. There's white, brown, gold, and rotten. Of course, you can eat these while playing through the game. You will also find a treasure in this area here. Some shotgun ammo, which is always good. But yeah, do be careful though, as the chickens will attack you. You can see when they will drop an egg, as you'll see right there. That is a brown. So now we just need to wait for a gold and a rotten. Now if you really want to do that, you can. That'll get you a trophy in itself. So then we can finally move on to the next thing I'd like to talk about in this area, and that is going to be how to get free RPGs. It's a very specific thing that you'll have to do, but I will go into detail about it once I have gotten all my eggs, and we'll show you where it is on the map. It'll just be a little bit that way towards the northwest. So yeah. Alright, so the next thing to talk about is actually going to be right here on the map. You'll find this little boat that's been sunken in. You'll find a brown beetle, and up here on top in this case is a free rocket launcher. Now, what you can do to get free infinite rocket launchers, not to sell, but to use for boss fights and things, is what you're going to want to do is quit game, and then it will save your progress. So you'll save the game, and then you'll be brought out into the main menu. So then what you want to do is actually hit chapter select, and then you'll go to the marshlands. That will also save your total BSAA emblem count. Once again, you'll just reload, and then what you can do is just simply remove the rocket launcher. Also remove any other things that you would like to remove. Also, you can sell, you know, whatever it is you would want to sell. And then rinse and repeat until you have as many RPGs as you would want to have in the game. So do keep that in mind. So now we're going to go back into the game and continue getting the rest of those bsaa emblems and mentioning anything else of importance. Alright, so after however many attempts that you've done to go through and get all of your RPGs and stuff that you need, you'll eventually come to this top area, and as you'll see right here, that would be the third bsaa emblem that you can grab. Now another thing I forgot to mention and will say now is that you cannot get rotten eggs from the chickens. You can only get them from specific enemies that will drop them later on, which will actually happen at the start of Chapter 4. So you'll have to come back to that once we get to that. So now from here, you're basically going to be going to the 3 big settlement areas that you did not start at, the bottom left, top right, and middle right, and those will have the remaining emblems. You will have to fight enemies to get them. There'll be treasure, things like that, but I'm now going to skip to when we go through the door, as that will get us to the next bsaa emblem, and we'll save on time. So yeah. Alright, so once you have made it to the next area after getting all 4 emblems, one of them will require you to have Sheva shoot some enemies, so make sure she has ammo for that. But now you can get that, the last bsaa emblem of Chapter 3, Area 1. So now we can move on and head into the next area. And the only thing I'm going to talk about in this area is that there are 2 big tough enemies who require a lot of ammo to deal with, so make sure you have grenades, something, or patience to deal with them. And the next thing I will also say before heading to the next area is going to be right in here. You will have this little cutscene, and then you will have your magnum. And that will be the next main weapon to pick up. I highly recommend upgrading that Magnum, as that will get you the S&W 5000 Magnum, which is the best weapon overall in the game for dealing with single targets. So yeah, so now we're going to be moving on to Chapter 3, Area 2, as it is just around the corner after this area. So yeah. Alright, so once you are in Chapter 2, Area 3, the Execution Grounds, this is actually going to be the main area where you're going to get another trophy called Lead Aspirin. It's for defeating an enemy with that is jumping with a headshot. So the best way to do that will be to use one of the few jumping areas that enemies will jump across, as you'll see right here. If you can, try and just save it to like 1 or 2 specific enemies, and just try and get them on the other side. Of course, if there's any enemies that have crossbows and things like that, you'll want to get rid of those. So now what we can try and do is make a path through. We'll come over here, jump across, turn around, and then what you'll do is you'll look up, and just like that, you should get the trophy. If you have been leveling up your shotgun, then that will definitely help with that. It just gives you way more spread, and if you're having an enemy that is being a little bit annoying, like I said, you can jump back across and then retry. You should be able to get it in a couple of attempts. You can always restart the checkpoint if you fail, of course, or run out of enemies to do it on. So yeah, so that will be the Lead Aspirin trophy out of the way. We can now move on to the bsaa emblem of the area. Alright, so immediately after that little area, you're going to have this small cutscene with Tricell. If you come over here to these barrels, you can find a treasure, the weird jewel fluorescent beetle. But if you come here into this first tent, and swing between these two, you'll find the first bsaa emblem. The second one will be towards the very end of the stage, so do keep that in mind.
Take it.
Okay.
Now, while you're also here, if you come over here, all the way down here, and
Looks like
look
we've
to
arrived
your
at the
right,
field.
you should see
And Irving's
once
not
again
getting away this time.
another jewel you can pick up. Now, I'm going to skip through this next area as it will be a little difficult. It does have 2 chainsaw guys, but as long as you have that magnum that you've been upgrading and all of that good jazz, you should be able to deal with them pretty easily. There are 2 of them specifically, and then you'll have a area that you'll have a 3rd character show up for and help you with, and then you'll eventually make it to the docks. So that's where I'm skipping to, is all the way to the docks, where you'll have a timer. So yeah, it's going to be a big jump from here to then, so we'll just have to excuse all of that. Alright, so as you can see, we've now made it to the dock area. There is no gate on that, or lock on that door, but eventually you'll come over here, and there will be a small cutscene. Now it's going to be in that building right there, is where the bsaa emblem is. Now also, there's a way to get 3,000 currency. So the first thing you want to do after this cutscene is immediately turn around and come onto the dock. 2 minutes is plenty of time. Right here you'll find 3,000. And then you can come here, get rid of some of these enemies. But right in here, on the wall, will be the bsaa emblem. So, as you're going to see, I'm just going to make a mad dash to the docks. So what we can do from right here is actually, if I can shoot it.
What's taking so long? Chris, use your PDA to confirm the coordinates.
That was close.
I owe you one. Are you okay?
Trying to shoot this.
These guys aren't making this easy.
Get out here.
Block, there we go.
Hurry up, you two. We are running out of time.
There we go. One explosive down. Gotta be careful of the next one. Now it should just be a mad run right here. And once we've made it, that'll be the end of Chapter 3, Area 2. So now we can move on to the Chapter 3, Area 3. Now, the only emblem will be towards the very start of that, and then there will be the boss at the end. So yeah. Alright, so towards the start of 3-1, when you're on the boat ride, as you'll see right there, will be the first, the one and only bsaa emblem. You can, of course, always just shoot it once you're in with a sniper rifle or your pistol. So now I'm going to be skipping actually to the boss fight of this area. So yeah. Alright, so one small thing I will mention is in the second area that you go to here, in the back you will find the next shotgun of the game. And then as well as that is if you actually head all the way up to the front where you're supposed to go, in the main office will be a treasure that you can possibly miss. Do be careful though, as there are 2 turrets that you will have to deal with. So do keep that in mind. But if you come up here to this little optional side area, oh my. Trying to see.
Thanks.
I need ammo.
Use this.
Huh, that's weird. Anyways,
I owe you one.
as I was saying. So if you come in here into the main office, and in here in the desk is where you'll find the gem. Sorry if that took a little bit longer than normal, but now we can actually move on to the boss. Alright, so after a small cutscene and all that good jazz, you will now have a giant boat that you will get on,
We'll try to stop it.
and you'll have two different specific guns that you can use. What I highly recommend doing is having Sheva be on one and you be on the other. You'll have tentacles to take out. Kind of makes it a little bit annoying when you can't actually.
Something that undergoes such a
Those
rapid
damage.
transformation must have a weakness.
But if it's on the same side, you should be able to use. Either of the cannons, of course. Eventually he'll come to the back. Eventually he'll go from side to side, as you can see. You know you can use normal weapons. You can use guns, they do work. RPGs too, you know. Eventually after you do enough damage, he will actually come up and be damageable from inside the beast. As you'll see, like so. Trying to use the Magnum for maximum damage, of course. Come on, man, this looks to be over with. Eventually, you will defeat him and be done. And that will be Chapter 3, Area 3 over with. Skip the cutscene for story purposes, of course. But that will be the end of this video. Like always, I do hope that these videos are helpful, informative, or at least a guide in some sense of the word about how to do certain things and where to find things. I do know me reducing most of the gameplay or playthrough of each area kind of does ruin some aspects of it, and I do apologize for that, but I figured it'd be a lot better to do it like this instead of having you guys watch a bunch of boring gameplay when you're just trying to get the specific bits and pieces that you want. So yeah, as always, this has been Mr. Pilgrim, and I'll see you all in the next one.